Welcome to Tammy's Tiny Tots Reborns. Well, I'm going to change a couple babies today, and I thought we would talk about how to find, my tips on how to notice scammer sites while we're changing a couple babies. So we're going to change Heavenly into a pretty dress, and yeah, we're going to change her into, it's a dress sort of thing. A handmade outfit. I just adore this with these little bloomers and this little headband. She's going to look super cute. So, all right, how to notice scammer sites. Well, the thing that I notice when I'm looking for sites, like when I'm scrolling through Facebook and I'm noticing, babies for sale. One thing that I always keep in mind while I'm looking, and I notice pretty much right away in a sense, is I look at the pictures. So when I take pictures for my Facebook page to sell my babies, I try and keep my backdrop. Now I've changed it recently, but I try and keep my backdrop the same. So at one point, there was a scammer person who was using my photos. And somebody let me know because they recognized my background that I use for my photos when I'm taking photos of my babies. And the person said to me, this person, and they gave me, showed me the link to her YouTube or to her Facebook. And sure enough, she was using my pictures. And I messaged her and I said, excuse me, but those are my photos you're using right there. Like she'd only had 2 of my photos, but still she was using 2 of my photos. So I told her, I said, I don't appreciate you stealing my photos like that. And instantly, like within 10 minutes, the whole account was gone. So when you're looking at a website, for instance, a website that's got really cheap prices for dolls, like the prices seem, in a sense, too good to be true. These sites have different photos of you see totally different backgrounds. It's one thing to see something kind of similar in a photo. Like, for instance, I changed the stuffed animals that are sitting around my babies in my photos. Now I'm using Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, Eeyore, and Tigger around my for sale babies. But the blanket in behind is a white blanket, and it says baby on it with a giraffe. And then I have some colored blocks that spell out, have letters and numbers and stuff on them. So I keep those in my photos, plus the Similac bottle I always use in the photos. And that makes my photos look very much similar all the time. And people that buy from me or that see my listings recognize that, I'm using the same background all the time, and that it's my photos. So I've been using that for a while, this exact same photo drop background kind of thing. Or some artists will use the exact same blanket, under every baby. My aunt did make me a little sign that says Tammy's Tiny Tots Reborns. What I want to do with it is I try to stand it up and it starts to bend. It's just made of a thin cardboard. Well, not even cardboard, but just stiffer paper. So my intention is to get a little frame for it, a baby frame, like a frame that says baby on it or something of that sort. And when I get that frame, then I'm going to put that paper in it, and that'll be in the off to the side I'm going to use these off-white little socks that I sell on her feet. These are the little socks that I have for sale, 3 pairs for $10. So yeah, so anyway, I use the same backdrop. So if you go and you see a website that has, these are a bit big on her, but it's okay. But if you see a website that has 30 different dolls for sale, all at once, okay? Don't get me wrong. Some artists do have a large amount of babies for sale. But if you see like 30 different dolls, all different, and they're all taken with different backdrops. They're all taken with different types of, you can tell that the camera is different. Like, you know, like that they're not taking the same kind of quality photos from one photo to another photo. The, you know, the quality changes between one picture and another. It's kind of, you can kind of tell. It's hard to explain it, but when it's pointed out to you and you look at it, you're kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. I see where it looks, you know, different, or where, you know, they all look so different from one another. And that is the thing, you know, most artists, if they're taking a bunch of photos of babies that are for sale, they're going to use the same backdrop for all 30 babies they have for sale, not 10 different backdrops and 10 different styles of taking photos. Because if you look at, for instance, I'm going to use an example of an artist that I know that has her own website, Stephanie Ortiz. If you look at her website, all her pictures have the same type of photo quality, pretty much equal to one another. But if the website shows different photo quality, different photos, and different people in the photos and things like that, that's usually a pretty good sign that it's a rip-off artist. As well, another big pointer to me, I'm going to grab another baby and change her as well. Another big pointer to me is also if the artist, or if the site has their prices way too cheap. Like, for instance, just grabbing the baby here. Here we go. We've got little Miss Mackenzie. Whoops, dropped the dress on the floor. Goodness gracious. So, with that being said, what I do is, if I now know the approximate prices of a kit, so I know kind of, you know, what prices I'm looking that would be a reasonable price for the doll. So for instance, if I see a Saskia for sale for under, whoops, sorry, bouncing like crazy. But if I saw a Saskia for under $100, I know for a fact that it costs more than $100 to buy the Saskia kit in the first place. So there's no way any artist could possibly sell a Saskia for under $100 unless A, it was a stolen, like a copied sculpt, like a stolen sculpt where it's not really an actual Saskia sculpt, which means you're going to get inferior quality, and you don't know what the quality of the vinyl is, and you don't know what kind of paints are being used and things like that, and they're normally factory dolls. And the one thing is you'll see a picture of the doll, but you won't get the same doll. So I'm going to put this outfit on her. It's got these pink little rompy pants with gray and white striped ruffle. My aunt made this outfit, and she's going to have the matching dress to go with it. It's got the pink at the top and then the gray and white striped at the bottom, and then a matching little bonnet to go with it. So back to what I was saying. Anyway, yeah, it's very obvious and apparent. Like, it's, if you really look carefully, don't let the idea of getting a cheaper doll, and a doll, you know, like, because you're thinking, oh, these artists are charging a huge amount of money for their babies. Well, each artist charges for one, we charge, well, I know this is how I do it. I charge the initial price for what the kit cost me to buy. Then on top of the kit price, most kits do not come with the body. The body is purchased separately. So then I charge for the body. And then I charge like a fee for materials. Now when I say materials mean Materials, whoop, your head's all cockeyed. Materials mean magnet inside the head. Materials also mean the magnets on the pacifiers and the pacifiers. I try to send 2 pacifiers home with every baby I make. I try to. So the pacifiers, the cost of the pacifiers, a small charge for glass beads because they cost me money to buy them to be able to put inside the doll. So a charge for the glass beads, and then a charge for the polyfill that goes inside the glass beads in the body or in the limbs. And then, now this is for a bald baby, let's say, for instance. And then I charge for, so I charge for everything that it cost me to purchase to make this baby. And then I charge a small fee for the box opening, which consists of tissue paper, the ribbon, the outfits your baby's gonna come home with, you know, that kind of stuff, whatever I happen to stick in the box for the box opening. I mean, I don't charge a lot for a box opening. If you want to buy a baby from me and you say, hey, I don't want a box opening, I can send a baby home in just one outfit, one sleeper, and send it home with nothing else in the box except the baby wrapped up, and that's it. I can send that home, no problem. But you're only saving $50 because I only charge $50 for the box packing. It's not an expensive fee. And when I shop for the dolls that I create, I make sure that I shop off of the clearance racks so that I can pass the deals on to my customer. So for instance, if I get cheap clothes, like cheaper, they're still expensive clothes, they're still Carter's most of the time, 90% of the time they're Carter's clothes, they're still Carter's clothes, but I've gotten them cheaper. So if I only spent, you know, $20 and got 3 outfits, you're gonna get in your box opening 3 outfits because I only spent $20 on those 3 outfits instead of if the outfits were full price, I would only be able to send like 2, you know, instead of 3 in the box packing. And that's not counting what the baby's wearing. That's 4 outfits in total, 1 that the baby's wearing and then 3 outfits in the box packing. I like to do that and reflect that on to the customer in the price. So I only charge like $50 for the box packing, and then I charge a small fee for my work, and that's it, because I take the time to sit there and paint these babies. I use my hydro to bake the babies, and I spend hours making, you know, you're creating your baby. I'm gonna put these cute little socks on her. Creating your baby. So I charge, and believe it or not, I only charge $100. That's it, $100 for my fees. So my babies are very reasonably priced because I'm not charging a lot for my fees. Now, I get told all the time that I'm undercharging for my work, that my work has improved enough that I should be able to charge more per baby. But I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have better priced babies for people so that more people can buy a Reborn. So I keep my prices low. So just because my prices are low doesn't mean I'm a scammer. It means that I am basically not taking a lot of fee for myself. Some artists who have become professional artists, and their work is worth way more money, and they're able to bump their prices up and charge accordingly. And there's nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, it does bring the price of the dolls up to a market value that might not be as affordable for the average person that is on a minimum, you know, a tight budget. But to be honest, when people are looking for a doll, if you're going to spend this month, you have $150 to spend, and that's all you want to spend is $150. And you go and go to one of these scam sites, you might get ripped off your $150, not get your doll. As well, you may not get or you might get a doll that's junky looking and really crappy looking instead. And then you'll be very disappointed. Instead of, if you had it just waited, say 1 or 2 months more and saved up another $150 and spent $300 on a doll, you could have gotten a doll that was much better, much nicer looking, and not a scam baby. And not got ripped off in any way, shape, or form. So my tips on watching out for a scammer is to watch for the pages that have a whole whack of babies for sale all at once, because a lot of artists can't mass produce babies to where they have where they can say, oh, you can order the Saskia, and then you order the Saskia, but so does 20 other people orders the same Saskia off the same picture you just ordered it off of. Their dolls are not being handmade by an independent artist. Even someone who produces babies quite quickly cannot produce that many babies, and have that many babies available for sale. We usually have a few at a time. They come in little tiny clumps. I can paint 3 babies at once because I have enough painting racks to do that. But, you can still only work on 1 baby at a time. So if a baby is being rooted, you can only work on 1 rooting head at a time and get that baby finished and then start on the next one. So it takes longer to bring the babies to life if you're doing it as an artist rather than doing it in a factory where you have a whole bunch of employees who are putting these babies together. So don't fall for those sites that have a whole pile of photos, all you can scroll for 20 minutes and never hit the bottom of how many babies they have available. Keep an eye on the photos. That's what I do. I really watch the photos. If the photos aren't even similar to one another, then I can tell that they're stolen photos from other people that have taken pictures of their babies and posted them on either Facebook or Instagram or whatever. They've just stolen the photos from those different sites, and then they're going to try and take them and use them for themselves. So be careful, everyone out there, when it comes to buying reborns, because the scammers are out there, and unfortunately the scammers are causing the market for the prices of these dolls to go up even higher and make them more expensive, because we're going to be having to charge more for the babies we make, because it's going to cost us more to buy the kits and things like that. So be careful, and I try to avoid those scammer sites. And I'm really, really sorry to anyone out there who has been scammed in the past. It's an awful thing to go through. I understand that. And don't get me wrong, I worry every time I order a doll from someone new that I have not ordered from before, to whether or not they're legit. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell these days. But the scammers are good. They're really good. They impersonate our government. Here in Canada, they'll send us messages saying that we're going to go to jail because we didn't pay our taxes on time, and if we don't send them this amount of money, that the cops are going to come to our door. And that they try all different avenues, and they're in every hobby, they're in everything out there that you can think of, and all they want is your money, and not to actually give you anything of value in regards to what you paid for. So please, please, please be careful. If you're unsure, my email is in the description of every video I post. If you're unsure, any one of my subscribers at all, please email me, send me the link to whatever it is you are looking at, and I'll tell you whether I would personally buy from it or not. I might be wrong. Trust me. I might be wrong when I say, oh, I don't know, that one looks fishy. I wouldn't suggest buying from it. But for me, if it looks a slight bit fishy, I would rather walk away and keep my $150 or however amount that I was planning on spending. I'd keep that money and wait until I could find something that was a much better or less chance of it being a scammer. So please feel free, everybody, to email me, send me an email, send me the link of whatever channel it is that you're curious about, and I will give you my personal opinion. I mean, my opinion is my opinion. It's not the same as anyone else's, but the more we support these scamming sites, the more we do that kind of thing with these scammers, the more chance, or like the more they do it, because the more people that are buying from them and everything causes them to do it more. And you know, not only are they going to scam you, but they're also going to scam someone else. So just be careful, be wise, and realize that, for one, these dolls are not cheap things to collect whatsoever. It took me, I started the year I started watching YouTube videos about reborns. Let's see, in 2016, I started watching videos about reborns, and it took me from the fall of 2016 till the June of 2017 to save up enough money to buy myself, or to start looking for a reborn for myself. Now, luckily, my first baby, I was very fortunate. I live only about a 40-minute, I'd say about 30 to 40-minute drive from McPherson's craft store, which is where they sell these kits. They sell all the stuff you need to reborn. It's a beautiful, beautiful craft store. Well, they also sell pre-made, already completed babies made by Shelley, if I'm not mistaken. And they also do like, for instance, another artist can take in a couple babies and have them sold there, and they will sell them for you, sort of thing. But I was I'm very fortunate to be able to buy from there for my first baby. But I've just, and after that I stuck to doll shows for a little while until I got until I got more educated in this community. I made sure that I bought from very safe places, and that really helped a lot. But you never know if it's a safe place or not. That's the problem. So, like I said, message me if you want to, send me an email if you're, not sure about a site that you're thinking of buying a reborn from, and I will give you my personal opinion on whether I think it looks like a good site or whether it looks a little bit fishy. But please just do not get sucked in just because you want to save a few dollars. That is the biggest thing. These dolls are not cheap, and if you want to save a few dollars, you're going to get something that might not be as nice as you would wanted your baby to be. You may have to get something of lesser quality. And there's nothing wrong with lesser quality babies at all, from a real legit artist that bought the kit from, like, McPherson's or another company that they bought legitimate kits from, not stolen marketed kits from China. That's the ones that are really messing up our community and causing us to have problems in regards to buying kits, and knowing whether kits are legit or whether they're not legit, stuff like that. So there we go. All right, so that is my kind of thing on it. Like I said, if you're ever unsure, please feel free to send me an email and show me the link. I will check it out, and I will tell you whether I personally would buy from them or not. I have been collecting reborns now since June of 2017, and I have never been scammed. I've purchased a couple babies that I thought looked better in photos than they ended up looking in person. We all make that mistake on occasion, and that's okay. But most of I've not been scammed yet. Touch wood. I'll touch the side of this change table. Touch wood, I've not been scammed yet, but I'm pretty cautious, and I really watch to see things, checking reviews on people, things like that. You know, do your homework. That is the biggest thing, is do your homework. Don't impulse buy. That is the biggest thing you've got to be careful of. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our Whatever Wednesday on Tammy's Tiny Tots Reborns. I hope you enjoyed our topic. And as I said at the beginning, this is just my opinions on the scamming situations. There's more, I could go into more depth in regards to the damage that it does to the community, but I'm not going to go in that far because, I just don't have enough of information to share in that aspect. But there are plenty of other people that have made videos on YouTube in regards to scamming, being caught by scammers and things like that, caught up by scammers. And they have some great advice as well. So do your research, check into things, really watch who and where you're buying them from, and good luck in your Reborn shopping. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe and smile, and share a smile with a friend. Bye-bye, everyone.